So, which cone is the biggest? Details. Let's pretend that you actually own this yogurt shop and you decided to make this your large cone. So you got small, medium, large. Are you going to be losing money or gaining money? You're going to be losing money because if I'm a smart customer, I'm going to be like, well, that cone is way bigger for less price. I'm about to swindle you out of some money. And every time you sell that cone for less money, you are losing more and more money. Details matter, especially when it comes to money. So I don't know about y'all, but money's not the most important thing in the world, but more money is nice, right? Makes life a little bit easier. Any questions on how to use this volume formula? How easy is it to type it into Desmos? I got a million% easy, right? Imagine doing this by hand like I used to have to hammer and chisel in the stone, right? Back in my day. Oh, you're going to have to learn to do this by hand. You're not going to have a calculator in your pocket all the time. And now we got those smartphones that can do anything. They're smarter than the computers they used to go to the moon. All right, next question. I got 1.5 slides left. Okay? All we got to do on this problem is determine who is right and who is wrong and why. So Mark and Allison are working on the same exact problem for this cone in the picture. Mark says that the volume of the cone is volume equals 1/3 pi times 5 squared times 8.2, giving him an approximate answer of 214.68 cubic centimeters. Okay. Allison argues that 8.2 is not the height, so they need to calculate the height before determining the volume. C says the volume is 1/3 pi times 5 squared times 6.5 for an approximate answer of 170.17 cubic centimeters. Who's right? What did I tell you all about where the height dimension should be written if it's the height, inside or outside the cone? The height should be written inside the cone right here, right? Right next to the dotted line. Okay, so let's investigate this for a second. Okay? So what is the measurement of this 8.2? What's that actually measurement? It's hot right there, right? Can anybody see a shape in there that you can recognize inside the cone? What kind of triangle? Oh, it's a right triangle. What do you use with right triangles? It's almost like the warm-up was had a point to it, right? When you see a right triangle, you should automatically think Pythagorean theorem, right? So, on this right triangle, which side is the hypotenuse? How do you know for sure? So long as sure, but the picture should be deceptive, right? No, not sure if there's curves on triangle. I don't know if y'all learned this whenever you learned about Pythagorean theorem. Okay? Treat this right angle right here as an arrow. Where does that arrow point to? It always points to the hypotenuse. Every single time, without fail. Okay? That's how you should remember right triangles. The right angle always points at the hypotenuse. So if I were to set up Pythagorean theorem now, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where am I going to plug in these numbers? We have A, B, C, like that. Does it matter which one is A and B? Nope. Doesn't really matter. We're going to leave A by itself. We have A squared plus 5 squared equals 8.2 squared. And you plug in Pythagorean theorem. You should get 6.5. So C is 8.2. See how I'll leave these in here, making my life a little easier. So that tells me now that A, the height, is 6.2, or sorry, 6.5, 6.499. And I had a question about this in my last class about rounding, because whenever you have a rounding like this, it gets kind of confusing. So let me explain. All right. So the number we have in question is 6.499. Y'all with me? Okay, if I want to round to the hundredths place, the second decimal point, what does this next 9 tell me to do? Round up or down? Tells me to round up. Okay. When you round up, what do you have to do to this number? I add 1. What's 9 plus 1? 10. Does 10 take up 1 spot or 2 spots? 2. So now if this becomes just a 0, I carry that 1 over here. Becomes 6.50. Does that make sense? These are probably the worst things to round when you got that extra 9. It's very easy to mess up. Okay, a lot of people will do this. Way wrong. That's way different than 6.5. No, it doesn't seem like that in terms of like, it's a decimal. It's not that much. But think of it in terms of like if you were dealing with millions and millions of dollars, 1 decimal point might be several $1 million, right? So make sure you pay close attention to your decimals. Okay? Any questions on this? So who's right? Mark or Allison? Allison. Because she was correct about changing that height. Does that make sense? You will have to do that on a STAR test, almost guaranteed. Okay, they're going to make these problems more difficult for whatever reason. Okay? Got one more slide. You're only doing half of it. I'm going to leave 2 of those problems for Thursday. So I want y'all for the next 5 minutes to work on A and C. Go. Should be pretty simple if you still have those formulas in your formula chart or in your Desmos. If you have a question on them, raise your hand. If you want me to check your answers, raise your hand. But everybody should be working on these examples real quick. In reality, it should probably take you about 2 minutes to finish these. If you already got the formula typed into your Chromebook. Yep, because of the right angle. Right? Always find that right angle. We'll have to do something extra for the letter C. Know something about the you're in Stephen. I should have some answers out, please. Send the work where I won't lie. So essentially, I'll get some numbers and so nice. That's all that into the and that probably will be an answer. About another minute, I'll go over these on the board. If you want me to find your answers, raise your hand. Choices on one. That would probably be the hypotenuse, but what is it asking for the hypotenuse? So you see volume. It's 14 points. So much. Five. Ah, here's the last thing we're doing. Okay, so pay attention up here. You made a mistake. Nonetheless, mistake. Okay. So letter A. What are the only two things I need to solve for volume? I need radius and I need height. What's the radius for letter A? 4. What's the height? 5. So don't trick yourself into doing more work. I know we just did the Pythagorean table problems, but on some of these problems you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you're not creating more work for yourself. Work smarter, not harder. Okay? Now just plug those in, radius and height, and make sure you plug them into the right spots. Because how easy is it to just flip-flop those numbers and plug them in the wrong spot? That'll get you a wrong answer. And I can almost promise that'll be one answer choice. Okay, so my height is 5. My radius is 4. Should have got an answer of 83.78. Question about rounding. If it's 5 or higher, it rounds up. 5 is included. 5 or higher rounds up. If it's below 5, it stays the same. So 83.775 rounds up to 78. Is that correct? Why? Because volume measures in what kind of units? Cubic. Okay, cubed to the third. All right. And letter C. What's my radius and height? I don't have my radius, but what's my height for sure? 10. I know my height is 10, but I need to plug into Pythagorean theorem now. Because you have a right triangle. Where is my hypotenuse? 18. Remember, always find that right angle, create your little arrow. Yeah, I know what you're not going to have like paper tests, which I think is stupid. You'll got to work on the Chromebooks all the time, which I hate. But I think they have little drawing tools in there too you can utilize. Okay, so 18 is my hypotenuse, which makes 10 A or B. Doesn't really matter. Okay. So now I have 10 is my B, 18 is my hypotenuse, giving me a height or a radius of 14.97. All right. Now I got everything I need to plug into my volume formula, and I can promise you this. That will probably be an answer on the STAR test for this problem. Why do you think that is? To trick you. Because you had to solve for that, right? So don't stop your problem halfway through. Make sure you pay attention to what the whole problem is asking you. Okay? So plug that in. My height is 10. 14.97. for a total answer of 2,346.78. Okay. What happens if this is one of those problems that you have to like do that fill in the blank bubble question where you got to select all the right numbers? What if I round this to 7,7? Am I going to get it right?
No.
That's where details come into matter. And one, you can do everything right, and then you don't round it correctly at the very end, and you screw yourself over, shoot yourself in the foot. Make sure you pay attention to the details. Life is about details. All right. On Thursday, we'll go over these last. We'll go over B and D real quick, and we'll go over these two problems as well. Okay. Go put your books up. Please put them up neatly. Make yourselves not look like a bunch of savages.